think challenges are really good. And I think overcoming them for me means expanding how I think about something. You know, it's all about lifelong learning. It's all about finding the sources and resources. I think one of the things that's difficult, and we founded a company, Momentum Women, which is a very successful company we had for 10 years, is coalescing women, removing the boundaries of competitiveness. We're stronger together. And that's what I love too about Women in Film and Television Texas. Yeah. We expanded to Texas. I've locked arms with chapters around the world. Yeah. And
we start with breaking news off the top. A child fighting for his life tonight after he was shot in the neck. Yeah, this all happening on Bob Billa Street. That's near East South Cross and South WW White Roads. That's where we find Zaria Oates. Zaria, we understand this all apparently just an unfortunate accident.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing from the San Antonio Police Department. Just over 30 minutes ago, they came and spoke with us. This is still a very active scene. Lots of police officers still behind us with their lights on, not letting many people back in this area. That incident involving, unfortunately, a 10-year-old little boy who was taken to the hospital in critical condition after police say he was playing with a gun, and there were other minors in the household at the time, but no parents there. That happened in this home, just 3 homes from the intersection here at Bob Billa and Wales. Now, we are still working to learn more information about why so many children were left at home alone. There were 4 children in the house, at least, according to SAPD. We are also working to learn more information about where this goes from here, if anyone will be charged, because there was a weapon left unattended, and there were multiple children who apparently had access to this weapon. Parents did make the scene, and then they told us, SAPD told us that the parents then went to the hospital where that kid is being treated. As we learn more information, we'll bring that to you on air and online. But for now, live on the Southeast side, I'm Zaria Oates.
A lot of questions. Thank you, Zaria. Bexar County Sheriff's investigators still counting up their haul from a drug bust that landed these 4 people under arrest. So they're Aaron Hernandez Rodriguez, Encarnacion Gutierrez, Marie Carmona, and Daniel Perales. All facing charges tonight after the bust uncovered cash, weapons, methamphetamines, and cocaine. Katrina Weber shows us how investigators knew where to find everything.
The sign may advertise tires for sale, but Bexar County Sheriff's detectives say this shop was in a whole different kind of business. The sheriff's organized crime unit had been investigating it for some time. Then with the SWAT team closed in on it Thursday afternoon. Inside the tiny building on Culebra Road near North Star Zamora, they say they found a big haul. More than 1,000 grams of meth, some cocaine, and 4 handguns. Meanwhile, they also hit up a home a few miles away on South Sandario Avenue. There they say they found more meth, a rifle, a handgun, and several thousands in cash. The home is just a couple of blocks from a school. This seems to be the kind of neighborhood where people keep to themselves. Everyone has a fence and gate around their property. The few people I spoke to either didn't know or didn't want to talk about what happened here. The sheriff's office did tell us, though, that the 2 locations are connected to one drug operation. Investigators spent all night at both sites working on the case. Although they also took a whole group of people into custody, they weren't able to say right away how many of them were expected to face charges. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
She was shot and killed inside her own apartment. A trial date has now been set for the 3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the shooting death of Melissa Perez. Jury selection set for September 2nd. Court records show Alfred Flores, Eleazar Alejandro are charged with murder, while Nathaniel Villalobos faces a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. If you're not familiar with this case, Perez was shot and killed inside her apartment on June 23rd of 2023 during what San Antonio Police Chief William McManus called a mental health crisis. During a hearing on Wednesday, defense attorneys said that prosecutors are missing key evidence, including body camera footage and a list of people whom McManus spoke to on the night of the shooting. Prosecutors argued that some of the requested material simply does not exist.
Now, a high-speed chase with authorities never really ends well, and it's why the Comal Sheriff's Office says that this man, 26-year-old Dustin Witt, is in jail. The Sheriff's Office says that he aimed his car at a DPS trooper who was just setting up spike strips. And at one point, this chase went up to 100 miles an hour. The Comal County Sheriff's Office says that Witt was eventually arrested. Now he's facing several charges, including evading arrest or detention with vehicle, reckless driving, and unlawful carrying of a weapon.
Do you have anything to say to your constituents about your DWI charge?
Yes, I do. Last night I was pulled over on the suspicion of a DUI, and I know as a public servant we are held to a higher standard, and I failed to meet that standard.
Yet another San Antonio City Council member being arrested for driving drunk, and this time it's District 8 Councilwoman Ibaliz Mesa Gonzalez.
She was pulled over along I-10 near Hildebrand late last night. She spoke to our cameras when she walked out of the Bexar County Jail this afternoon.
I'm deeply regretful at the disappointment that I've caused my constituents, my family, and my colleagues as this process moves forward. I will take full responsibility and make sure that my constituents are fully represented.
As we mentioned, this is not the first time a city council person has been arrested under suspicion of driving drunk. You can read more on our website, KSAT.com, about the previous occasions. For the first time, we're hearing from the Spurs on how much they would pitch in for the cost of a new arena. That number, just over $1 billion. We're talking about Project Marvel, the city's proposed downtown sports and entertainment district. It's been talked about for nearly a year now.
So this afternoon, City Council heard an update after the Spurs committed to financing some of that arena. Our Avery Everett has been sitting in on that meeting, and we expect to hear an update from her soon.
This information, though, comes from City Manager Eric Walsh. This is what we know at this hour. The Spurs have pledged to pay $500 million and guaranteed coverage of cost overruns for a new arena. As for what the city could contribute, Walsh said between $350 million and $500 million from various sources.
But he also emphasized that these numbers are preliminary, which means they're also subject to change, so they're really not final or binding. Walsh also went on to say that Bexar County is considering paying about 25% of the arena project costs, which is up to $311 million. We're
going to dive down on these numbers and exactly where this money will come from and how much will you, the taxpayer, be asked to pay. City Manager Eric Walsh broke down some potential options that could mean taxpayers wouldn't actually be hit with the bill.
Okay, so Avery Everett, which we mentioned, was covering the story. She is speaking with Mayor Jones right now, and we're hoping to hear from her later on in this newscast, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, right now let's turn to the weather situation. The fact we're not triple digits today, and showers look like maybe they're moving our way, Adam?
Well, they are moving toward us. I just don't think they're going to really make it here. So they're heading in the direction of San Antonio from Hallettsville, Lavaca County, and even in some isolated light showers, Gonzales County all the way down into Wilson and Karnes counties. Nothing significant there. Most of the rain and the heavy downpours have been in Lavaca County. This is just good soaking rain in areas where we could use it. But it is showing some signs of weakening, so the rain's not quite as intense and the downpours not quite as heavy as they were just over the past couple of hours. And you see the number of lightning strikes has decreased as well. Those white lines indicating the cloud to ground lightning strikes. Whenever you see those cloud to ground lightning strikes become more isolated and not as frequent, then it's a clear sign that those storms are weakening a bit. Either way, we're not expecting anything severe throughout the weekend. So that action slowly working its way westward. I do think there's going to be some leftover light shower activity as that heads towards San Antonio later on tonight, especially midnight and thereafter. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll take a look at how much rain has fallen and where we're going to see the most rain this weekend in just a bit.
Adam, thank you. And now we're going to take a live look at the roads right now. This is I-10 at the Y, where traffic is flowing very smoothly at this hour.
Sometimes it's not enough for us to be there for a few weeks. Sometimes it's not enough for us to be there for a few months. So we've stayed in places for years that they've needed us. Mercy Chefs believes that Kerr County is going to need us much longer than the immediate response.
Help for those who need it most. That's what the group Mercy Chefs is giving to the flood-ravaged Hill Country.
Today, the nonprofit announced that it is adding a permanent kitchen in Kerrville to keep providing food for that community. The group has already prepared 60,000 meals for neighbors, visitors, and first responders over in Kerr County. And it's also, listen to this, it's also planning to hire people who live in the area who also need to work right now.
Mercy Chefs hope to have the kitchen up and running by August 4th out of the Light on the Hill Church.
Now, Texas Crime Stories returns with the cold case of Antoinette Jordan. This is a case that's remained unsolved for 35 years, but now one of Jordan's children is speaking out for the very first time.
I just remember her leaving, and I just remember waking up and her not being there, and I knew something was wrong because my mom, when she go out, she'd always be there the next day.
So that's Trevin Jordan. He was only 8 when he last saw his mother alive. She was found murdered under a bridge on the east side. And tonight at 6:30, our Erica Hernandez looks at the case and also tells us why Jordan is speaking out right now.
It's still ahead on the news at 6. Concerned neighbors over a proposed wastewater treatment plant in northwest Bexar County, but how it could affect all of our drinking water. After the break, a deeper look at how the entire city of San Antonio could be impacted.
We know there are dozens of water treatment plants across the state, but some people in northwest Bexar County are doing everything they can to keep one from being approved.
Yeah, they claim it's not just bad for them, but for all of San Antonio. As Sarah Costa found out, it's less about the plant and more about our delicate and unique watershed.
Water treatment facilities fail a lot.
If a proposed wastewater treatment plant gets approved by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality in northwest Bexar County, it could be detrimental, not just to the Helotes Creek watershed in our aquifer system, but to the drinking water of 1.7 million people in San Antonio. That's the message that the people who live along Scenic Loop and Stort Birnbaum are trying to get out, as they fight Lennar Construction Company from developing Guajolote Ranch project, which would require this wastewater treatment plant. Birnbaum used to teach planetary earth science at UTSA.
That wastewater treatment process does not purify the water to the point where it supports human consumption.
He says for this water to be safe to use, the treatment process must be perfect. But the chemicals used to treat it can be as harmful, potentially causing cancer. However, these wastewater treatment plants are being used all over Texas. He walked us through what makes our watershed unique and extremely delicate. And these possible problems, if one of these plants were to be placed over it. One, we have a limestone system or karst, not sand or mud, which help naturally filter water. Sand or mud with vegetation, they can catch these chemicals and pollutants, helping absorb them.
Limestone is not going to clean up the water the way sand or sandstone will. So that means that this contaminated water is constantly flowing with little to no dilution effect. Again, it just builds up over time.
Two, there's no predictability where this water will end up. We have a Swiss cheese system because of limestone rock. It can end up in people's wells and into the Edwards Aquifer, which is where San Antonio gets its drinking water.
Water is going to flow through cracks and fractures and holes, whether the hole is pencil width or whether the hole is a cave.
So because these are limestone aquifer systems, that water can actually move quicker into the well system.
Yes.
When you have something like toxins, chemicals that are dangerous, PFAS, fertilizers, or wastewater that wasn't treated perfectly, and we're going through our unique watershed into these aquifers that are limestone, it can quickly end up in our drinking water.
Correct.
TCEQ has one rule. They don't differentiate between a soil river and a half pipe made of limestone. They apply the same generic rule to every river in Texas. And so those rules really are inadequate for this application.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
There's just a lot to think about. Now here's a live look outside right now. It is Friday, 90 degrees, and it looks like it really wants to rain, Adam. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, the clouds look like they want to rain, but they're not going to rain quite yet in San Antonio. That's all east of town. Later on tonight, I'm boosting our rain chances up to 40%. You look at the rainfall totals thus far, and where you have the light greens, that indicates at least a half an inch of rain. The darker greens is an inch of rain, and the yellows on this map get out near Eagle Lake, and that's 2 inches. Now, most of the rain has been in our eastern counties, as we have been expecting thus far. And you look at the action as it shows here on authority radar. It's slowly working its way westward. Now it's starting to lose some of its electrification, its cloud to ground lightning, but still some moderate to heavy rain. This is good soaking rain in Hallettsville, Lavaca County, moving into Shiner and Moulton, about to move into Cuero, moving into Victoria at this time. We'll look at the past hour and you'll see that general motion from the west to the east. It's slow. I mean, these are moving at about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and they have a little bit of a southward motion, but out ahead of them, a few of these brief little sprinkles and light showers, especially in western Gonzales County, and now headed down toward Sutherland Springs, Stockdale as well, and Falls City and Karnes City and parts of Karnes County. This activity, the stronger, the yellow and orange you see, that's the stronger rain, the heavier rain. As that moves westward, I anticipate it to keep weakening a bit, but there should be enough left over to bring us some at least light showers overnight. This is one computer rendition of what could happen. And notice how it weakens those showers as they move westward, but still hitting San Antonio and surrounding areas with some areas of rain overnight tonight and in the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. And then we get a bit of a break, and throughout the weekend, it's not going to be a washout. We'll have some sun mixed with a few rain showers. If you have outdoor plans, just be prepared to dodge a shower periodically. By the afternoon hours, some of those typical random rogue afternoon pop-up downpours. Now, those downpours could drop up to a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain because the air is saturated. We have that deep tropical moisture in place. Don't pay close attention to the exact placement of these downpours, say tomorrow at 6 o'clock. They could really be anywhere on the map. It's going to be fairly random in nature tomorrow afternoon into the early evening hours. And then Sunday, a fairly similar situation. We'll have just some more isolated showers popping up. Here's the overall setup and what's causing this. And it's this upper level circulation that's over the Gulf. Same one we've been tracking for several days. This is headed westward. Now it's starting to throw that rain-making energy onshore, where the heaviest of the rain could have 2 to 4 inches along parts of the Gulf Coast. And even there, flooding's not exactly likely. I don't anticipate any flooding issues and nothing problematic with these showers throughout the weekend. Here are the main headlines and main takeaways. Not a washout, okay? Rain showers are just going to be sporadic showers, no hail, tropical in nature with the downpours. So up to 1 to 2 inches in some localized areas, but flooding unlikely in this kind of setup. We don't anticipate flooding. As for the actual probabilities here and the rain chances, anywhere from 20 to 40% over the next 24 hours. And it's going to vary. I think overnight tonight into the pre-dawn hours tomorrow, 40%. And then again tomorrow afternoon at 40%, and then some lesser odds in between. Temperature-wise, it's not going to be quite as hot because of these rain chances and, of course, increased cloud cover. So just like today, yesterday we hit 100. Today we were 94. Tomorrow 93, 95 for the high temperature on Sunday. And then we go farther ahead into next week, and you look at the changes here. Back to sunshine and upper 90s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then a similar upper level system is going to move in by next Thursday and Friday. So basically the end of July and to kickstart August, we have another chance of rain. It's something that's rather unusual around here compared to the past 4 or 5 summers, right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so you got the day off, you're at Cowboys camp, you're not far from Ventura. What would you do, Nick Mantis?
If I were me, I would probably, go to the beach, maybe enjoy some sunshine, maybe catch some rays, some waves. I know our sports director, Larry Ramirez, is probably doing that right now, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about how everything's going with that man right there. DeMarvion Overshown is looking to come back and try to be healthy for this upcoming season. Then let's go ahead and head over to Houston, where the Texans have a new offensive coordinator, Nick Haley, and he's got some expectations for the upcoming season. Or does he? Stay with us.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
Well, our Camping with KSAT coverage continues even on a day when the Cowboys aren't practicing. Our team is still bringing you all the coverage and clips that we couldn't get to during a busy week, like chatting with linebacker DeMarvion Overshone. And our Larry Ramirez is hitting the beach. What's up, Larry?
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick, and good evening, everybody. We are coming to you from Ventura Beach, which is about 7 to 8 miles away from the Cowboys training facility. The Cowboys are off today, so we decided to change our location. Cowboys linebacker DeMarvion Overshone is an absolute beast when he's on the field, but in both of his first NFL seasons, he suffered back-to-back season-ending injuries, yet he is one of the most upbeat guys that you will ever meet.
Knowing what God has in store for me, that's what keep me motivated and keep me smiling.
And can you explain just how hungry you are to get back out on the field and play?
Oh, yeah. I feel like just getting a taste of, my rookie year, I didn't get a taste of it. I got a preseason, but I didn't get to savor the flavor of being what it was like in the NFL. Now that I got those 12, 13 games, like I got to sit and I got to marinate and like, oh, this is what it feels like to be an NFL player and then turning into a guy that's making plays and a playmaker. Like I love that feeling. And, the game of football, it's my passion. It's something that I love to do. You take away the money, you take away the fame, you take away everything, I still play football until I can't no more. So being out here, the relationships I built with my teammates, the battles that we go through every day on a day-to-day basis, that pushes me to want to be back.
Overshone says his target date to return is in October. We wish him the very best. Nick, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Larry. Let's take a look at the schedule for this week. All the times you see on your screen are San Antonio times. 1:15 tomorrow is going to be an open ceremony and practice. Then on Sunday, 1:05 coaches press conference, 1:45 practice, and at 3:15 p.m. it's going to be players interviews plus a sit down with Jerry Jones. Well, the Houston Texans were practicing this morning at the Houston Methodist Training Center, a perfect spot for the team to get in some of the morning heat. A brand new offense has been being put in place with new offensive coordinator Nick Caley. And every coach enters a new job and wants to see some progress with his group. But does Caley have any expectations for this season?
I don't try to go into it with expectations. We got a group of guys starting with D'Amico and Nick on down, the leadership on the team that are hardworking guys. And I know this, like whatever level of football it is, when your best players are your hardest workers, it kind of sets the tone for everybody else. And we've got really, really good people here that work hard, that love football, and we're just trying to keep it moving in the right direction.
Oh, it's just exciting. 7 long months to get back to this day, so a ton of excitement, ton of energy. We've been real intentional with how we're starting these practices. Last year we kind of were chomping at the bit, so we gave them a little bit too much on the front end and had to kind of taper the practice towards the end, so we're doing a good job of tapering them up and down. It was a good first day for sure.
Yesterday's Incarnate Word practice was the first one in the books for the Cardinals. Head coach Clint Killough wanting to see some more leadership for the group, but they're going to open the season on August 23rd against Nicholls State, and we're going to have more from these Cardinals coming up in a little bit on KSAT Sports Now.
Go time at the Word.
It is big time go time.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
Speaking of that, so finally we have a number. The Spurs are revealing how much money they'll spend on a new arena. Our Avery Everett is going to join us live right after the break with details.
Tonight, we have an answer to the question people have been asking for nearly a year. Who would pay and how will a new Spurs arena downtown be paid for?
That's right. And this afternoon, City Council heard an update after the Spurs committed to financing some of the roughly $1.5 billion arena. Our Avery Everett sat in on the meeting, and she joins us now live.
The numbers discussed today were really the first time that hard figures have been laid out when it comes to funding possibly a new Spurs downtown arena. Remember that this is all part of a larger project when it comes to a sports and entertainment district downtown. But after that presentation today was a long line of public comment, most in opposition, and that's part of the reason why City Council tabled their vote today. So let's break down what exactly did happen today. Members said that they would continue discussing funding for the proposed district in the coming weeks, but they did not vote. Still, we got our first look today at where the money from Project Marvel could come from. City Manager Eric Walsh said the city could contribute between $350 million and $500 million, but he emphasized these numbers are preliminary and subject to change, meaning they are not final or binding. So how exactly could the city pay for their share? Walsh broke down some potential options that could mean taxpayers wouldn't be hit with the bill. One would be leasing the arena to the Spurs and leasing other parts of property to private developers. The city could also use money generated from a special tax reinvestment zone in the Hemisphere area, as well as a project financing zone, which is a state mechanism allowing a portion of hotel and state tax revenue in a defined area to be captured and reinvested into a project like this. So I do want to emphasize all of the discussions that happened today are specifically about that new, potentially new Spurs arena, not the whole project at large. We do know that the Spurs pledged today to pay for $500 million directly for the arena, and the county has also had discussions that we've been following here on KSAT, specifically about also contributing to the project. So tonight on the Night Beat, we're going to have a full breakdown of the finance discussion that happened today. We're also going to be talking about what the Spurs pledge when it comes to promises about community benefits from this project. Steve, Stephanie, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Avery Everett, live from City Hall. Thank you, Avery. It's been more than 3 decades since a mother of 8 was found murdered under a bridge on the east side. Her killer has never been caught.
But now, for the very first time, one of her children, who was just a boy at the time, is speaking out. He's hoping that renewed attention will finally help solve a 35-year-old case.
KSAT's Erica Hernandez revisits the murder of Antoinette Jordan and the son who refuses to let her be forgotten.
Antoinette Jordan was 35 years old, a mother of 8. These are the memories her children hold on to. A loving mother full of joy.
Antoinette Jordan was my beautiful, lovely mother. I remember her singing as a child. She used to sing to us. Every time we would get hurt or injured, she would take care of us.
In the spring of 1990, at just 8 years old, Trevin Jordan says his family suffered a devastating loss. His oldest brother murdered, his death leaving his mother devastated.
But I remember my mom going through that, being in pain, crying, and not being able to stand, and she was hurt, depressed.
He had no idea that just 2 months later would be the last time he would ever see his mother.
I just remember her leaving, and I just remember waking up and her not being there, and I knew something was wrong because my mom, when she go out, she'd always be there the next day.
Antoinette Jordan was found under the North Walter Street Bridge. At the time, police say a person walking noticed a woman laying face up under the bridge. Antoinette had been shot, and because her clothing was in disarray, police believe she had also been sexually assaulted.
She didn't deserve to be raped and murdered under a bridge in the dark by a coward, They may still be out there. We don't know.
Trevin and his siblings were eventually split up and put in the foster system. Growing up wasn't easy for him, but he held on to the memories with his mother.
Jordan was my mom's last name, and that's all we had. That's all we had left of her.
Now, with a family of his own, he's looking to find out who killed her.
I feel like God's telling me it's time to find out what happened to my mother. Get to the bottom of it.
As for the investigation, Trevin says at one point investigators told his family they knew who did it.
They only give us lip service. Your dad did it. We couldn't prove it. My dad always maintained his innocence to the day he died, that he didn't do it. I think they used my dad as a scapegoat, and the perpetrator is still out there, I believe.
SAPD Online has Antoinette's case listed under their cold case section, even saying that items collected from her case were going to be resubmitted for analysis as new technology may help them solve the case.
Every time a family member called, they say, no, we didn't do any testing, and they hang up. That's all we get over the years.
Trevin is still desperate for answers and doesn't want his mother to be forgotten.
It hurt to see people drive over that bridge, Walter Street Bridge, every day, and don't know my mom lost her life right there. No one put a flower out, a balloon out. No one did nothing for my mom. No one spoke up for my mom. So now I'm here to speak up for my mom.
Now, we reached out to SAPD for an update, but they told us we had to file an open records request, which we have since done. We'll be awaiting the results of that when it comes in. But if you have any information on this case, you can call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Such pain for that family. We certainly hope that they get answers and closure. Now, coming up, caring for a loved one who is living with Alzheimer's. We know it can be challenging. Still ahead on the news at 6:30, how a local nonprofit is helping families with affordable care. You may be surprised to hear this, but more than 33,000 people, that's how many people are living with Alzheimer's right here in Bexar County. And the thing is that the cost to provide care can leave a lot of families with little to no help.
Yeah, as Stephanie Cerner reports, Meals on Wheels San Antonio looking to help more families by introducing new lower rates at their Alzheimer's center.
The tree. Lupe Cardenas has been living with Alzheimer's since 2020. However, here at the Grace Place Alzheimer's Center, she's been happy.
My mom, she's a girly girl. She loves to get her nails done, loves to get her hair done, loves all her clothes matching.
Lupe's daughter, Laura Hernandez, told me her mom has been coming to Grace Place for more than a year.
Alzheimer's does take a lot as a caregiver out of you, but when you bring them here with somebody that you trust, you know that you can go home and do the things that you need to do.
However, from medical bills to paying for this type of help, it got costly for Laura and her family, which is why they had to stop bringing Lupe to Grace Place, but just for a short time. So while dealing with the rising cost of running a facility like Grace Place, Meals on Wheels Director of Marketing Ariana Barber says they still recognize the need for more affordable care. So they lowered their rates, allowing Laura to bring her mom back this past June.
We have found is that the sooner someone comes to us and is engaging on a regular basis and socializing with people and getting to do our activities, the longer you have that person that you know with you.
Tell us how this has helped you as well.
It helps being able to bring mom to somewhere that we know that she's being very well taken care of.
Laura tells us this allows her to help her dad with her mom, and she has more time for her grandchildren.
I have a 7, 5, 3.5, and 3. So I have 4. 3 are boys, 1 little princess granddaughter. And so spending time with them, it just gives me joy.
Laura also told me her mom is thriving here.
So she's happy. Every day when he picks her up, she's extremely happy.
Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
She looks happy, too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. All right, live cam outside. I think Stephanie has said it right. All those clouds look like it wants to rain.
But
that's the key. They're not going to rain quite yet. I do give it a few more hours and we'll probably see some showers in San Antonio. And keep in mind, we could use the rain. Far west Texas and right here in San Antonio, especially, roughly speaking, along and south of Highway 90. Now notice, off to the east, you get into Hallettsville, Lavaca County, DeWitt County, Gonzales County, generally drought-free. And that's where we're getting the shower activity at the moment. This is all heading westward. I'm going to time it out for some of the communities that are up next for this rain in just a bit.
All righty, welcome back. Time now is 6:45, and Adam's going to get us ready for the weekend. But before that, some areas are going to be getting some rain.
He's already got me ready for dinner. He's talking about brisket and all the things he's going to smoke this weekend. And I'm like, man, I'm hungry now.
I got meat on my mind, Got brisket, some dino ribs, a few
sounds really
pork back ribs. Yeah, and not to mention a little pork shoulder to throw into the mix there. Got a lot of people. Splitting some wood the past couple of days. It's nice and dry. This is good. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at the rain. And of course, the activity moving through Lavaca County, it's heading westward and it is slowly weakening now. Should we get the leftovers of that, it'd probably be closer to 10 or 11 p.m. in San Antonio. But the more immediate areas to actually get some of this rain, even if it's just generally light to moderate in nature, and it's basically between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Anticipated in Yorktown at 7:25, Gonzales 7:29, Harwood, see the rain move in at 7:32, Smiley at 7:45, and Nordheim 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. Again, should some of that make it to San Antonio, I'd say generally speaking, so for downtown, that would be a little closer to 11 a.m., between 10:30, or 11 p.m., I should say, between 10:30 and 11 p.m. Now, keep in mind, there's more activity off to the west of this. So, yes, this may be showing some signs of weakening, but look at the general trend today. Of course, west of 281 and west of I-35, a lot of sunshine. We'll take a look at the temperature difference in a moment. But I also want to point out this first batch of energy that's causing the rain around Hallettsville and Lavaca County and surrounding areas. That is moving our way. It's weakening, but there's more rain-making energy around Houston and more that's just going to be randomly and sporadically cycling through as we get through this upcoming weekend. Now look at the difference in cloud cover. Where you have the sunshine west of town, temperatures very different than areas where you have the rain and the clouds, of course. Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs 102 right now. Meanwhile, Gonzales at 87, LaGrange only 81. And Victoria 79 for the current temperature. And right here in San Antonio, sitting at 90 degrees. So here's the overall setup and what we're watching. And it's this little upside down dip in the upper level flow. It's an inverted trough that we're watching. Basically just some upper level energy, some upper level rain making energy. And you see all the shower activity. This is what we've been tracking pretty much all week from the Caribbean now here to Texas, throwing the energy on shore. Not only that, but significant moisture with this. I mean, deep tropical moisture, saturated air from the ground to several thousand, over 10,000 feet high in the sky. The air is just going to be saturated. That's going to lead to some localized downpours, but we're not anticipated any flooding issues because these would be progressive and not just sitting over the same place for an extended period of time. Early next week, Monday, Tuesday, drier air starts to settle in just for a few days, though. Then rain chances return again toward the end of next work week by Thursday. So here's our future cast. And keep in mind, some of that activity making it to San Antonio and surrounding areas overnight in the pre-dawn hours, generally light in nature. Then we get into tomorrow afternoon, and that's when the random pop-up downpours are likely to develop. They could be anywhere on the map. I know, say, 2 p.m. it says Kendall County. It could very well be Bexar County or anywhere else you see on the map. So don't pay close attention to the exact placement here, just the mere fact that even the Futurecast is on board for this development and this activity. Now, once we get into Sunday, I'm anticipating some showers, but not as much coverage as what we'll have on Saturday. Bottom line, we'll have sunshine mixed in with a few showers throughout the weekend. Not going to be a washout, up to 1 to 2 inches in some localized areas. But for the most part, we're going to see well below that in terms of overall rainfall accumulations. Low to mid 90s, though, with the clouds overhead. Not bad. I mean, yesterday was triple digits. We're going to be a little below average next few days.
And it's not just mental. You feel the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see the chances are we're in this cycle where you just keep getting rain chances. We'll take it.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll be right back. KSAT Sports Now with the argumentative Nick Mantis.
That's me.
Coming up live
right
at
here.
7 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
Talking about the accolades that SMU achieved this year.
But not Nebraska.
And in his words, how close SMU was to a national championship.
What we're going to do tonight is not talking about what happened in the college football playoff, but we are going to hear from their head coach on the upcoming season. There's a great quarterback who he thinks is the best returning quarterback coming back this next year. We're going to hear about what he had to say at the Texas High School Coaches Association convention. Then before that, though, of course, we've all been talking about it every single show you've seen today. The Dallas Cowboys have the day off, but that doesn't mean our crew was taking the day off. We're going to hear from them. They're out at the beach. They're having a great time. That's going to be exciting. And then we're going to Texans camp. Then college football is almost here. We were just talking about UIW practice for the first time because they have a week 0 game against Nicholls State. We're going to hear from them how excited they are for the upcoming season. So
who's going to be their quarterback?
They don't really know yet.
That'll be interesting. That's a battle I'm looking for.
You know what? As a reporter, I might have to get to the bottom of that for you.
Don't strain yourself.
I'll try not to. I'll stretch before I go out there. So.
All right. UIW, SMU, Cowboys, and more come your way at 7 o'clock. Stream on KSAT Sports Now. We'll be right back. I didn't realize Adam Caskey was quite that defensive about Bachelor in Paradise.
Loves it.
Okay.
We know now.
I defend BIP.
KSAT wants to help you get ready to go back to school. We're offering one lucky winner a chance to win a $500 gift card through a special back-to-school sweepstakes on GMSA.
$500. You can enter until noon on August 1st. To enter, search for this giveaway on our website and just fill out the form. Adam.
Bachelor in Paradise was around way before Love Island.
A lot of people were saying that Bachelor in Paradise is a ripoff of Love Island, and that got Caskey going.
What came first? Bachelor in Paradise. Okay, look at that shower activity of the past couple of hours. It's slowly weakening. It's heading westward. I'm hopeful we'll get a few showers out of this, but more opportunities over the weekend.
Okay, we'll see you on the Night Beat.
See you, Ted.